Chris Williams, Brent Blum. From the Northwest Bank Studios, it's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
What is up? Welcome to the program. A day late, February the 26th, doing a Thursday show. Williams and Blum. We are presented as always by our friends at Mechdyne and the Northwest Bank Studios. My name is Chris Williams. I am joined as always by Brent Blum. How you doing, my friend?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you. You're on the call of a high school game tonight.
Yeah.
Back in the booth, eh?
Back in the booth like the old KMA radio days, baby. No, I got the #1 ranked Ballard Bombers tonight against Des Moines Christian.
So, like, if somebody wants to watch this, is it just open to?
Yeah.
Like, how do we?
Just YouTube Ballard Bombers, and it's on their YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
The Ballard YouTube channel.
I actually might flip that on. That'll be a really good atmosphere, I would think.
Yeah. Des Moines Christian is actually getting bigger by the day, and know one of the assistant coaches there, so talk to him a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game. But yeah, so YouTube.
How did you get that gig?
So so Ballard's Huxley, and that's where my insurance spot is now in Huxley. And so one of the booster guys walked in and said, "Hey, we need a play-by-play guy. Do you know anybody?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I do know somebody." No, it's been honestly, C-Dub. I know you get this too. Like even on these shows, I did a game on Monday, the first game. I was nervous. Like I felt like I was.
I get it.
Back on the ESPN Plus days. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but no, I had a great time. So. Yeah, Bombers are really good, too, so fun to get back on the mic.
There's got to be I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here, but all of these, like, schools are trying to do their own thing now, and I watch a lot from Western Iowa of my nieces and nephew, and the production value and the overwhelming majority is so bad. And I don't blame anyone because it's not really what they do, but they're trying to take these things in-house. There's got to be a way to, like, help them. But honestly, it's all volunteer for these folks. Like that's what's really cool. The ones that do it really well are incredible. Yeah. Like it's really fun to watch. It's just it's such a big undertaking. They're trying because the normal audience is expecting ESPN because that's what they're used to, and a lot of times they don't even. Most of the time, do you have a real camera? You don't have a real cameraman, right?
No,
it's that automatic thing that just follows the ball, right?
Yeah, the HUD. We're gonna have one more today because we're upgrading, so we got 2 cameras I think tonight. But yeah, it's basically a bunch of dads and moms volunteering to put the game on. And as somebody told me, it was really just for the memories because they want to be able to go back and watch, 10 years from now. And I was like, yeah, I would love to help out. So 7:00, Ballard and Des Moines Christian on YouTube. Do
you remember when we would call the games? And then we would
like it was yesterday.
Well, and then people would buy CDs.
Yeah,
like a replay of the call, and then we would have to like burn the CDs and send them out to them.
I think $20.
It's crazy, like the amount of people that would do that.
Yeah, now it's all on YouTube. God. It's pretty. The cloud, man. Pretty cool. The cloud.
Go Google Cloud and come a long way.
It has.
Presented as always by Mechdyne in the Northwest Bank Studios. I did just real quick one of our Wednesday's show sponsors. Will in a day. I got my appointment scheduled. It's on the books. I'm gonna get it done in a day. With Hope Wood.
Get it before the Big 12 tournament, baby.
So yeah, that's coming up. Shout out to Hope. She made it real easy. We'll lead with the women. What a disappointing loss last night. Yeah. Really deflating for me. It felt like they let TCU beat them twice in a weird way. What I'm saying is I felt like it kind of carried over because that TCU game, if they don't blow that lead, I find it really hard to believe they lose on senior night to Oklahoma State. But I don't know. Like there is a part of me, Brent, drop to a 11 seed.
Yeah,
well, is it possible? Where are they at? Like,
they were a 9 entering yesterday by Charlie Cream, who's the only guy.
Maybe you're better off as a 10 than you are a 9.
Probably, yeah. You want to avoid that 8-9 game. I agree with that.
Can you tank and get to an 11?
No, because I think in Aiden, can you look this up? I believe the women now have a play-in tournament as well? Iowa State played in it last year.
Yeah,
Iowa State played in that last year. Remember? Mm-hmm. Didn't they? Am I making that up?
Well, I don't know about that.
I think they played in the play-in game last year over in at Notre Dame.
You're right, because we had to send Connor there.
So, and it was like on a Tuesday. It's coming back to me now. Again, old age happens to all of us, everybody. No, so you want to avoid that though. Like, you don't want to play in that. However, it's not the worst. It wouldn't be the worst thing. Yeah, the 8-9 game, specifically in women's basketball, is I mean, it's not that game. It's the game that follows. Like, if you want to make a Sweet 16, it's those 1 seeds are generally on a different level. Now, Connecticut's really good this year. South Carolina's really good. UCLA's good, but maybe they're not as untouchable as they used to be back in the day. Still, it would be a monumental challenge against a 1 seed this year.
Yeah,
but disappointing. I mean, obviously the TCU game, to be up double digits in the fourth quarter, and it's happened a couple of times this year where you just can't get a basket late for whatever reason, and then Miles went nuts for TCU. And then Iowa State opens the game last night on 11-0. And it's like, all right, vibes are good. We're celebrating Sydney Harris and her senior night. And then Oklahoma State made everything. Like, they played really well. They did. Now, it's just very frustrating. Very frustrating.
The defense, man. Like, even if Addie wouldn't have gotten hurt, and you're playing these teams that have scouted now, they're just not good enough defensively. I mean, Audie's really struggling defensively against certain types of players.
Yeah, and she had a knee brace on there for a while.
So she was less mobile than normal.
Oklahoma State's big gave them all sorts of trouble. She was only like 6'1". Yeah, I think you nailed it, C-Dub, with that analysis right there.
Yeah.
It's just the defensive mobility is just not there. And these teams are making Iowa State work, and it's just been hard. It's been really difficult. And then
really
I don't think
stuff.
Addie's not 100%. I mean,
no, that's the other problem. When
she doesn't look 100% to me.
Well, again, we'll go glass half full and hope that they drop to an 11, and then they'd be a dangerous 11.
Yeah, and even honestly, I think there's a big difference between the 1 and the 2 seed. So even if you finagle your way into the 7-10, so either way, they're gonna get in. It's just you thought you might have been beyond this, and then Iowa State played great. Iowa State played its best basketball of the year, in my opinion, for 3 quarters at TCU.
I know, that's what's so frustrating.
That's what was frustrating, yeah.
Because they were just right there, and even if you could just find a way to hold on to that win, you don't have to win it by double digits. It's just such a different, and the whole game of inches thing, man. You never really know. Gravitate Co-working, shout out to them for sponsoring the show, gravitatecoworking.com. The Iowa State men.
By the way, real quick, the women's net ranking hasn't moved in like a month. Like, they've been 31 to 33, so they're pretty much set there. So I don't necessarily envision a world, and with how many games they got left, I don't think they can fall to 11. I really don't. Like, that would be.
I was pushing them up to like a 6 last week, and now
you're not pushing. It's pretty set in stone on the net side for sure. But yeah, I mean, you just clearly don't want to lose any more games, winnable games at home in particular.
Yeah, that senior night, it's always a big deal for them too. Yeah. It sucks to lose on that game.
Yes.
Okay, so the men win at Utah. Kind of figured that they would. That was a really you wanted the definition of like a workmanlike game, I thought. Here's the thing. I don't think they're sharp right now. I just did a show with Hassel earlier on Iowa Everywhere, and it feels like I'm going to kind of repeat it, but then we're going to go more deep here. Like, you do all these college basketball seasons, right, Brent? They are there's ebbs and flows. You go up and you go down. I don't think that they are at their peak at this particular point. But what was reassuring about that Utah game is, like, they weren't exactly sharp, and it was just their defense wearing a lesser team down. And, I know for a fact, if you ask TJ Otzelberger, what do you want the identity of your team to be in your program? I mean, that's it. And that's what they did, and they feasted off of turnovers. They lived in transition. They were just the tougher team. And, like, I felt like it was like watching a really good offensive line completely destroy a defense. And in the last 10 minutes of that game, Utah wanted no piece of what Iowa State was doing. So, You want to know the difference between like this odds team and like the early ones? That's it. Like where you can not be at your best and still beat a bad team by double digits, where those early teams weren't able to do that. And listen, they weren't horrible. Like Milan hit some. It's not like they were just terrible. You know, Taman's back playing offense, which is great. He had a great trip out west. And Jamarian Bateman really has kind of, in my opinion, changed the trajectory of this team, where it just gives you more security to if a couple guys are having a bad night, like we've seen it now. We saw it against Houston. Time and time again, Bateman is stepping up and hitting big shots for Iowa State.
No doubt. Yeah, I think I like the offensive line analogy. That was a run the ball and stop the run game, and that's why that is applicable. CW is that's repeatable, and I think that's Iowa State's bread and butter. And you look at the raw numbers. Iowa State still did 1.1 points per possession, which is really good offensively, and holds Utah to a ridiculously small 0.86. And that's been a Utah team that has been scoring it. And so it was encouraging to me to see Iowa State in a kind of a sleepy atmosphere turn up the tempo after being on the road for 5 or 6 days. That's actually a really good sign. Like my first thought after the game was that was a grown-up win. That was you've been on the road. It's been a long trip out there. Just grind it out and get out of there. And I thought it was Iowa State actually played fairly well considering the circumstances. And what I like too, C-Dub, and again, you're looking at the highlights here. Iowa State's only up 2 with 4 minutes left, and then really put the pedal down to end the half, and then to open up the second half, and just put that thing. Unlike the TCU game where you let them hang around, and then they come back and win the game. That was not going to happen. And I thought Joshua Jefferson in particular was the best player on the floor. And that was the Joshua. When Iowa State's good, it's when that guy is dominating all over the place. And he obviously had a physical mismatch in there, and he took advantage of it. And that's what makes Iowa State a little bit more unique than in years past is they can give it to Joshua and have him go create. And then that opened up Milan. It was just solid. It wasn't pretty, but it was solid. And now it's get home for a monster game against Texas Tech. And even without Toppin, Tech's playing some really good basketball. And then you look at this week, and we can get into the Wiffles Hybrid Big 12 segment, C-Dub. It's really interesting because that we thought maybe Iowa State could just coast to that double bye. Well, it comes down to Saturday. Like it really does. If Iowa State wants that double bye in the Big 12 tournament, it's almost a must-win on Saturday with how the tiebreakers would hash out. Now, granted, Texas Tech doesn't have Toppin, but look at how they've been playing with Christian Anderson, and it's been really impressive. So Iowa State's going to get a big test Saturday. Good news is you took care of business on Tuesday, and you made Saturday what it is, and that's a very important game.
Well, you have pointed that out, so let's dive right into our Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment.
Every year, you have a choice. One that says staying independent and family-owned means something on your farm. So plant your independence. Plant Wiffles.
The Texas Tech game, let me outline it for you. This is how I look at it. One, they're playing really well without Toppin.
They are.
A little bit like BYU without Saunders until
jeez, what was that?
Oh my God, talk about a Big 12 story. It's like, BYU looked like, the Golden State Warriors against Iowa State, and then they were down 30 at halftime to Central Florida. I'm worried. This game, I told people, I'm on the record. I said of the Kansas, Houston, and Tech games, Tech worried me the most. And that was before Toppin's injury. But I said that because there's a different level of intensity that comes with playing Texas Tech compared to the other two. You had Big Monday and you have Kansas. Kansas is always the hottest crowd of the year. Big Monday is a huge deal. Tech just doesn't bring that natural energy. I'm hoping that is going to not be the case, being that you are the 4th-ranked team in the country playing for a number 1 seed. I'm anticipating a great crowd on Saturday. After everything that's played out, that doesn't worry me that much anymore. Okay. I'm worried only in the sense that I just don't think Iowa State is like, again, at the top of the mountain right now. I think they'll get back there. When will that be? Hopefully the first round of the NCAA tournament, okay? what makes me feel good about this game is that Tech has kind of already gotten its post top and bounce, and they're going to scout the shit out of that guy, Christian Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, he's the offense right now.
So I do think Iowa State has the guys to counteract that. And listen, so with that, like, while this game has scared me, I think you're going to see a pretty spirited Iowa State team, because I don't think Otts is going to particularly be thrilled after that Utah trip. I think he's going to be proud of the way that his team performed. He should be. Everything I've heard, he's doing media in 3 minutes, so we'll hear from him today. Jake and Rob are both there for Cyclone Fanatic. I do think that, just a pure basketball standpoint, I do think I like Iowa State in this game, but I have a lot of respect for McCaslin. I think he's a great coach. It's a hell of a program that he's built there. Christian Anderson's one of the best players in the league. This is a very formidable opponent, and to your point, but it's kind of good, too, because you know what's in front of you.
Absolutely.
You win the game, and you're the 3 seed, right?
Yeah, you win it, and
in the Big 12 tournament, not the NCAA tournament.
Right. This is talk about the Big 12. I mean, again, shout out to our guy Emred, Big 12 basketball generator. You can run all the scenarios you want. I mean, essentially, Iowa State's got 3 games left, right? Tech, Arizona State. Now, we're assuming a win over Arizona State. A win over Tech doesn't make the Arizona game meaningless. It really doesn't, but it pretty much guarantees the double bye in the Big 12 tournament, which is really big. Like, because when you're gonna have Kansas and Houston both in that 1-2 seed conversation, anything you do to get above them or on that same playing field is really going to help. Not to mention, this Big 12 tournament's going to matter. Like, it really will. This is the first time in maybe a decade, C-Dub, that I really think that the results down in Kansas City will impact the NCAA tournament, and I think it would behoove Iowa State to play really well down there too. This isn't a situation where, hey, you're kind of dinged up, although Buchanan is a little dinged up. That's why he didn't start. Now he's fine.
TJ said in the postgame that he was having headaches.
Okay.
And that's why he didn't practice. That's what he told the Cyclone Radio Network.
I saw that lines up.
Ben Hutchins had posted the full quote. And Jake and Travis Hines were both down there too, so he's on the record. But yeah, he was having headaches and hadn't practiced the last 2 days, so it was like, let's give Plata an opportunity, which is very on brand for TJ Otzelberger to mix things up in February and just mess around a little bit.
Yeah, and then I think it was just a nice little fresh start too for a good nod of the tip of the cap to Dom, who's been playing well,
really good ball.
But I do think it will really help Iowa State if it plays good competition in Kansas City and wins a couple of games. I do. I mean, it's not just the seed thing; it's the vibes. I thought Iowa State entered the NCAA tournament 2 years ago on a much higher confidence after winning the Big 12 than it did last year when it got beat by BYU and gave up 95. Like, I think that it just didn't feel the same to me. And I know Iowa State was dealing with the Keyshawn thing at the time, which was kind of the fog over everything. But I really believe it would help Iowa State to win a couple of games and feel good getting out of Kansas City. Therefore, give me the double bye, please. Like, I think the double bye is really important. Yeah,
to me, a couple of things are true here. Kansas City means more to Iowa State than it does.
And that's a fact, too.
And I'm not saying even the program, but, it matters for momentum with your fan base.
Absolutely.
All those things matter more here than it does if you're Texas Tech. And that's not saying, Iowa State's teams try harder in Kansas. That's not what I'm saying. When Iowa State loses in the Big 12 tournament, they hear about it a lot more than Kansas would be the same way, right? Because they have so many fans that are there. It's less of a big deal for them, though, because most of them are sleeping in their own beds.
Correct.
Okay? Iowa State fans will plan their spring break around this thing.
That's what I did. Exactly.
Correct?
Yes.
So it does mean more in that sense.
Yep.
I can also say winning the Big 12 tournament matters less to me this year than I think it ever has.
Fair. I agree with that. I'm not even worried about winning it. It'd be great.
Correct.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't want to have to dick with the grind of playing 4 games because they could be the 5 seed and win the tournament. That's my point. Mm-hmm. So every time I go to Kansas City, I expect Iowa State to compete to win the thing, as long as they have a good team. And if that's the case, give me 3 games over 4. And because I'm looking ahead. Number one, I have 2 priorities. 1, deep run in the NCAA tournament. 2, get a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Seems far-fetched. Program's never done it. Yep. I think there's great brand value on Selection Sunday to be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So if you can figure out a way to do that, absolutely. And if that, let me ask you this. Let's assume they beat Tech and Arizona State, lose at Arizona.
Okay.
They win out, beat Kansas and Houston or Arizona or whoever in the Big 12 tournament. Can you be a 1 seed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I would say it would be better than half if that's the scenario.
Even if UConn would win out and win the Big East.
That would make it complicated. That would be the qualifier for sure. I mean, UConn,
because UConn killed St. John's last night.
Massive win for UConn. That's it. See, that changes the landscape quite a bit, because they're now solidified right now as the 1 seed. But if Iowa State blows through the Big 12 tournament, seed up and wins that, it's going to be interesting. And so maybe 50-50 right now, if that's the scenario. Because I don't think it's a guarantee that Connecticut's going to blow through the Big East tournament either, by the way. So you kind of got to balance the scales against each other there. But either way, I'm with you. Playing well in Kansas City has longer-term ramifications for Iowa State than it does almost anywhere else. And I could make an argument, and I'm not going to because I don't necessarily believe it, that being a 1 seed on Selection Sunday in that amount of hype and drama could mean more than the difference between a Sweet 16 or Elite 8. Okay? So follow me. I'm saying Final Four be above all of it, right? But I think a 1 seed, because of all of the attention you will get as, it's 1 seed Iowa State, I think could be more valuable than, let's say, the difference between Elite 8 and Sweet 16. I think that's an argument you could have.
I would agree.
Because there's for whatever reason, it's still one of those big brand values of, you're a 1 seed. Like it's you're on Mount Rushmore. Yeah. And I know the odds do slightly favor. Like I'm not naive to it. I think the 1 seeds in general, I ran this once, have a 36% chance of making a Final Four seed up. The 2 seeds have a 24% chance. So there is a statistical advantage to being a 1 seed. It's not substantial. But yeah, I think being a 1 seed and feeling good would do wonders for not only the basketball program, but I think Iowa State as a whole. I really do. Like this is a time in college athletics where you want to have brand awareness no matter what that brand is. And I think that's why it's so important for this group and for TJ in particular this year to have a really successful postseason.
Let's do our preferred pest control. We're not doing a pest of the game today.
You're right, though. Real quick on Tech. Killian Torrey and Jamarian Bateman are huge, and Nate Heise and Taman. The great news with this Tech matchup, real quick, is Iowa State's best defensively with its guards, and that's Tech's strength is its guards. And they're not big. I mean, these guys aren't – this isn't DeBansa. Anderson's really good, okay? He's going to play in the NBA. And they got a couple other shooters around him. I give you my chances against 6'5" guys and under with Iowa State than the athletic 6'7", 6'8" guys.
Let me make a pest prediction.
That's where I'm going.
Because right now, and we even got a text from we're in a fun Iowa State basketball text group that gets very active during games. And it was presented to us that Bateman should start over Torrey.
I saw that.
I believe it was in jest, but however, it was still presented to us. And my initial response was, this seems like a great challenge for one Killian Torrey.
Yeah.
Not that he is directly competing with Jamarian Bateman, because he's not. That's not, they play different roles. It's a different. I have a hunch that one Killian Torrey will be a giant pest from Preferred Pest Control on Saturday against Texas Tech. What do you think about that?
I like that. If I'm TJ right now, I'm showing him like, give me some UFC guys. Like, who are some of those guys? And just saying, hey, you're the guy knocking out the other guy, and the other guy's Christian. I'm not promoting violence with Christian Anderson. Don't get me wrong, but that is how will Torrey make a lot of money in his NBA career down the road? Saturday.
Can I tell the story now? I think it's past the Kansas State story.
Yeah, we're good
because he's done this before.
Yeah,
it was it the game after Tang did the?
Yeah, it's pre-Kansas.
Yeah, well, one of those games.
Yeah, one of those games.
Otts showed the team. They edited together 20 of the greatest knockouts in UFC history.
100%.
And showed the team that in the locker room before they ran out.
It was before it was
before. Yeah, it was before Kansas State. One of those games.
It was one of those. Yeah. I don't remember what one it was.
But that's the mentality, and I wrote 4,000 words about it in my book back here. You can. It's one of my favorite chapters. Is the Otts UFC fascination, and I've talked with Eric Henderson, who was Otts' assistant. He's the head coach at Drake now, and he's been doing that. This isn't
TJ loves the UFC. He really does.
And he'll be in film with these guys, and they'll watch weigh-ins, and they'll be like, "That's how you shake a mother effer's hand right there," and you do it with So watch him. When him and McCaslin have why do you think he wears mediums polos? It's all psychological and it's brilliant.
I was telling I'd met with a guy cycling yesterday, Ross, and I was like, TJ's the most calculated person I've ever met.
Yes.
Everything has a purpose. It's amazing. He is. I'm telling you, everything that guy does is intentional. And you're right, CW. Even the shirt. And I know he gets made fun of for the shirt, but he wants to walk out there like he is weighing in for the UFC title. He's a fascinating individual, but I think, 2 days out, I think this is a Torrey special. He's going to be a monster pest.
So you're with me, because we didn't plan that.
No, this is his type of game,
and Bateman. Same class. He's getting all the headlines right now. This is a perfect opportunity for, J.R. Blount to pull in Torrey and do a one-on-one session and be like, hey, we need you to step it up. And then Torrey has 3 steals in the first half.
I'm going to say he's going to have, clip this, Aiden. He's going to have a Torrey play, midcourt, guarding Anderson or Petty, where he fleeces him, runs out, gets a dunk in the first 10 minutes, and the place is going to go bananas.
Well, and honestly, that was the most encouraging part of the whole game, I thought, on Tuesday night, was Bateman doing that twice.
Yes.
And really big points, too. It doesn't seem like it, but Utah was in the lead.
It was a 2-point game, yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's going to – when we talk about spots all the time, and honestly, it's usually it's a bad spot. I think this is a great spot for Iowa State Saturday. I do. Tech's good. It's just Tech's strengths play right into Iowa State's strengths, and I think the Iowa State guards are going to give them some trouble. Now, I will say that if Tech gets comfortable early, they can shoot it better than anybody in the conference, and it's one of those games where, hold on.
And they'll have scouted Iowa State's switch really well.
Absolutely,
they'll do as good of a job with that.
And they've got multiple ball handlers, so it's you better get up into them and make them uncomfortable, because if they're able to get in that flow, and look at their last 2 games with Anderson, he went for 27 and 32. This guy's really good. He's an NBA player. He'll probably be in the NBA next year, and but that's where Torrey and Bateman, and I'm looking at you, Killian, is just all right, man, go make your money guarding this guy, and make his afternoon miserable, because Hilton's going to be rocking 3 o'clock. I think the 3 o'clock afternoon games in the history of Hilton are the best atmospheres. I really do. There's something about a Saturday 3 o'clock game at Hilton. I think that place is going to be jumping, and Tech's in for it. Tech's in for it a little bit.
Pest of the day.
Killian Torrey.
Very good, Killian Torrey. We had a thank our friends at the Ivy College of Business for supporting what we do here on Cyclone Fanatic. We had a student who was watching from the Ivy College of Business today. I hope you're not sitting in a class, but even if you are, it shows that we're reaching the right demographic for this.
Hey, Evan, tell us what class you're in. Are you in the lounge? Like, are you in the cafeteria? What are we doing? What are we doing in Ivy today? It's a beautiful building. I mean, there's a good place to study. Maybe Evan's studying.
Listen, I'm ready to go. I think that Saturday, I've kind of talked myself off of the fear of that game.
Good job, Evan.
I actually think Iowa State could win it by double digits now. It's a spot. My guess, we're thinking through this in a sharp way right now. We're thinking through this in a sharp way.
I think it sets up very nicely for Iowa State. And Iowa State's I don't remember, and it's been a talking point for the 5 years of the odds era. I don't remember a healthier Iowa State team in late February. That hasn't been talked about enough. I would love to. In fact, I don't know if they're listening because they're probably talking to odds right now. I believe
Iowa State is going on right now.
I believe Iowa State has shortened up practices a little bit more this year during the middle of conference play. And I would be curious what this week is like, because that's a long flight, 5-6 days at altitude in Utah. You're flying back these guys got to be a little bit tired. And so that would be my one question. Yeah.
Fresh off Kansas and Houston in 3 days.
Yeah. So that's why that's why that Utah game I was nervous about, because you went KU, Houston, BYU at altitude against Utah. Those guys had to be pretty tired, but they didn't show it, and that's encouraging.
I thought Randy Peterson wrote a great column for us at Cyclone Fanatic after that Utah game. Made a great point that you did pretty good in your toughest stretch of the season.
Yeah.
3-1.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Utah's not very good, but it's still everything that surrounds that game. And if you've watched Utah this year, I thought that as bad as that broadcast was, whoever was the color guy,
he was good. Color guy was good.
Tough.
Yeah, the analyst was really good.
They have played teams tough this year. I couldn't believe when I saw they were 2-12 because whenever I've happened to watch them, they're always in these games. But Iowa State just wore them down.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity Saturday. I think Iowa State's going to play great, and those freshman guards kind of getting their bounce right now is just a difference maker, and it's kind of fun to see them because when we started talking preseason, it was all right. How good could this team be? And it was this team has more upside than any Iowa State team over the past couple of years because those freshman guards are going to get better, and you're starting to see it. The interesting part was it was Torrey that started hot. Bateman's starting to catch him. And now the fun part is it's like a 2-horse race where I think both of them could start sprinting and really elevate this team going forward. And then that carries over, maybe more exciting because I'm a big picture guy, into what the next couple of years could look like as well. And I think that's what's most exciting as an Iowa State basketball fan right now is what Bateman and Torrey have done and Plata as well really makes you excited. That's 3 really good freshmen in the rotation, by the way. So, some really positive things.
Forever True Day with the foundation up at Iowa State is April 1st and 2nd this year from noon to noon. You can go to forevertrueday.com and start planning out to do it's like my fantasy draft. Like, who am I going to give to this year? All right, I got some money going there, a little money going there. forevertrueday.com. I love promoting that
Evan,
with our friends at the foundation.
Since you're watching on in the Ivy College of Business, what program are you in? I'm throwing $50 towards your program.
Oh, he's in the lounge. He says.
I know he's in the lounge, but he has to be doing a major of some kind because Evan is listening to this podcast in the lounge.
Oh wow!
I'm putting $50 on Forever True Day to your program, whatever that is.
Look at this guy.
Let's see what it is.
Charitable son of a gun.
Let's see what. Yeah.
Brent Blum. Okay, Saturday's Big 12 slate. Let's knock through it here real quick. The key game. Now, listen, everybody.
Looks like the Finance and International Business program just got $50 on Forever True Day.
There you go. Kansas at Arizona. Kansas coming off that win over Houston on Big Monday. Is there a more unpredictable team in the country than Kansas? Good question, Chris. I don't know. Arizona feels like they kind of survived their little skid there. Man, and then, Brendan identified this in pregame. If you don't watch Cyclone Fanatic pregame, 30 minutes before every tip, you're missing out.
Yeah.
We identified this one. I gave this out as a bet. I said Arizona only a 6-point favorite over Baylor. That's terrifying. Like, that was an absolute spot. Baylor, man, Scott Drew's pissed about that one. They should have won that basketball game. But Arizona comes back to host Kansas, so that's a 3:00 tip. So tips at the exact same time. That sucks.
Come on,
Iowa State and Texas Tech. So the best 2 games of the day in the Big 12 tip at the exact same time. Don't have a point spread for either one of those games right now. But man, you're 2 of there's 5 Big 6 if you include BYU Big 12 teams, and 4 of them are playing against each other on Saturday.
Do you think I think they did strategically backloaded this thing for TV?
Yes. I mean, it certainly feels that way.
It's like it's like how the NBA, and Yormark's an NBA guy, does the big games on Christmas. Like, I think they 100% tried to line up this Saturday with some monster games. I really do. And then, the fascinating part here, C-Dub, is Iowa State, that's a quick turnaround. That's a quick turnaround trip because you're getting on a plane Sunday around noon to fly down to Tucson. So I guess, when you're looking at Saturday's game, that's the other story as well. Both, Arizona's got sleeping in its bed for 5 days in a row. Iowa State has to get back on a plane to go to Tucson. So we'll see what the focus factor is on that. But yeah, Team Arizona, everybody, by the way, in that game. I think you want Kansas to get another loss here.
I just want to look at the rankings really quick. So, yeah, what are the chances? Let's assume Arizona wins and Iowa State wins. So, basically, no, it's going to be 2 versus 4 unless like Duke would lose. Arizona
you're saying the top 25. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, what is that going to look? Because, Duke plays Virginia on Saturday. And Arizona's already ahead of Michigan now.
That's
That's 2 top 5 teams. I'm glad I'm going. Like,
that's
honestly,
fantastic point to even think about. Is you're going to get all the attention on Monday, aren't you? If you both win.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's top 5 on a Monday to potentially decide the Big 12. Whoa! And did you see the numbers that Houston and Kansas got on Monday night? It was huge. It was like 2.5, 3 million. The Big Monday Big 12 games have been off the charts, which is fantastic.
We needed that, right?
Yeah, 100%. So that's it. My
Houston
point is,
Iowa State did a crazy number.
It did it really good.
It was like 2-1 or 2-4 or something.
And you're gonna get more than that for Iowa State, Arizona, because top 5 game on a Monday night on ESPN. That could not have lined up any better for the Big 12 and Iowa State. So, but yeah, you got to take care of business against Tech Saturday. It all comes down to Saturday sets March up beautifully.
God,
Their jinxes aren't real, everybody.
Arizona's really good. Iowa State should want that game more than any game all year after what happened last year.
Well, and yes, and Arizona's banged up a little bit right now. Like it would not shock me if Kansas gives them a game Saturday. It really would, because Kansas is so spacey right now.
Nothing should shock Kansas with what they do. Nothing should shock anybody with whatever they're doing.
What do you think that point spread's going to be? I mean, what does Kenny have? Let me look here what Mr. Pomeroy has for that point spread. I mean, I assume
here, I got it right here.
Arizona will be 6 or 6, 7, 8.
I got it. 10.
10.
Well, nobody's laying 10.
You're not laying 10, are you? With Bill Self? Now, they have not been good on the road, though.
A little perspective here on the backloaded schedules. Arizona's on pace to play 8 quad 1 games in a row.
See, they're banged up. They did not guard very well at all against Baker.
6 of Iowa State's last 8 games on the schedule are quad 1.
This is fun.
Kansas.
Stressful.
Let's see where they're at, because I would bet you money they're in the same. Yeah, Kansas. 6 of their last 8 are quad 1.
Man.
Oh, by the way, did you see the picture of the Kansas State assistant just sitting on the bench?
No.
The guy who cussed out the kid.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see the picture.
Yeah. There was a picture taken of, like, there's a timeout, and whoever the interim coach is like rallying the guys, and all the assistants are. And then that guy's just sitting on the bench, just not even trying. The only reason I brought that up is because Kansas's last game is against Kansas State, and that's not even quad 2.
Thanks for playing, guys. Oh man, crazy.
Well, it's going to be a hell of a deal on Saturday.
Yeah,
I just wish those. Is it too? I mean, CBS and ESPN, they're not going to work together.
What's Iowa State on?
CBS.
Iowa State CBS. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love the CBS production. In March. Is that March? That's a March game too. Oh man. Or wait, no, it's not. Look at a calendar, Bloom. It's February 28th.
It's February 28th.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's the picture of it. That's our guy who was cussing out that sweeper kid.
I've said enough.
At least they still got those cool lavender jerseys.
They do. They're keep wearing those. Who do they go get?
Who would you hire if you're Kansas? I would hire J.R. Blount.
Do you think they can make a run at Ben McCollum? No, he's
close to Maryville, Missouri.
Northwest Missouri State guy. I don't know. I mean, Underwood's a K-State guy, but they're not getting him. I mean, I'm sure that they'll have to go. I don't know what they're gonna do. Interesting.
The coaching carousel is just so different than what it used to be now because of the NIL thing too.
Yeah, for sure.
It really has changed it. I don't think you can just be like, well, that guy went to college there, or it's just, I think football still has a little bit of that.
Oh no, this is from GoPowerCat.com. This is one of their message boards. This poster says 2 words, Larry Eustace. We have 5 football coaches living what they joke as the frat house. When they move out, let's repurpose it to the Larry Eustace frat house and bordello. All profits go to NIL.
I will not stand for this joke.
No.
Kevin 316.
Larry has turned his life around, everybody. Come on.
If let's just put ourselves in this spot. Otzelberger leaves tomorrow.
Speaking of, I did want to reference that real quick. Did you see the ESPN report?
Yeah.
I got a live alert on my phone that Ohio State would target TJ. It's like, yeah.
Clickbait bullshit.
The sky is blue. Of course they would.
Would you just hire J.R. Blount?
If TJ were to leave?
Yeah.
I think JR is a future head coach.
This is the same Mauser, except it's different because Mauser hadn't been an OC for long enough. According to Pollard, was what he insinuated. He hadn't. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. And for what it's worth, I don't think TJ's leaving. But we were just talking about it with Kansas State, because I haven't thought about who you could target, because it's just to me, it's just wasting brain power.
It is.
I don't think he's leaving.
But yeah, JR. I think JR is going to be a Power 4 head coach.
I do too, and in the world the way it is now, I think hiring a guy like Steve Prohm, who's proven it at a mid-major level, means less than ever.
Facts. Okay. Yes and no. It's 2 different things here. This is what's fascinating, though, because the money situation makes recruiting a little bit less important. If you have it, though. You have to have it. That's why Kentucky and Duke and those programs with BYU with unlimited resources, it doesn't matter if they hire a recruiter to an extent, because they can pay to get whoever they want. So at that point, it becomes an NBA game, and that's why they both have NBA guys, and that's just X's and O's at that point. However, at an Iowa State or at a school with more mid-tier resources, you still need a grinder that's going to establish relationships early. So when it becomes a money conversation, you're willing to at least survive if you're in the ballpark without having the top. But I do think it's shifting. Like what I said McCollum earlier. I think that guy's done a wonderful job at Iowa this year. I think he's done a really nice job at Iowa. But I think that guy's struggle traditionally would be recruiting. It's not as much of a factor for him anymore because since Iowa's in the Big Ten, their budget's going to be at such a point where they can get players just for the money. So I think the recruiting thing, roster building is important, but it's not necessarily recruiting that's the roster building part. It's the identification of talent in the portal and elsewhere. So all that being said, yes, I think JR would be fantastic because he's a smart guy. He's a great X and O's guy. Players love him, and the guy can recruit. But I also think he's got what you're looking for as a head coach now, C-Dub, is more of a GM type than just a guy that's going to go into high school living rooms, if that makes sense.
It's exactly right. That's what I was thinking through. It feels so much more of a Jimmy's and Joe's game.
You just got and anymore like,
and anybody who can do both is just at the top.
That's why Calipari has struggled in this era. Is like it's not as effective anymore just to get the best 18-year-olds because my 23-year-old that played 3 years at a mid-major is going to be better than your non-lottery pick 18-year-old. And that's coming to play. Like, look at Arkansas. Like, they're a nice, talented team. They got a bunch of good players. But give me Joshua Jefferson over their 18-year-old that may be good in 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to now, as a coach, this is why TJ is literally, I really do. He should be getting National Coach of the Year. I don't know why he's not in those. Maybe he will be down the road. I was listening to Sirius XM, and they were going through the Coach of the Year candidates. TJ didn't get brought up. He is so good at 365 days throughout the year of being the head coach, meaning he's always working on how do I make this thing better. And I think the guy has great relationships, but also his job of identifying, even Blake Buchanan last January of talking to Tony Bennett is paying dividends now. Like you always have to be a step ahead in the roster building. And I have no doubt, just based on being around it for 4 years, they know already who they want to target potentially for next year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's all.
I bet they knew 2 months ago.
Absolutely. Like everything is a plan. Where in relative to our friend Jerome Tang, it felt like K-State was always like, well, let's just throw some cash out and see who we can get. Like it wasn't intentional.
Prom's deal was like that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like having covered that recruiting as closely as I did, the net was so big that they were
huge.
casting.
Yeah.
You just never knew. And then their hit rate was so low. You could tell it was like, oh, this guy got back to me.
Yeah.
Where this is all relationship driven.
And that's why so back to the TJ thing, I don't think is going to be a conversation at all because I have no doubt they have, based on being around it for the 3 years prior, they know what next year looks like already. They do. And if TJ feels like that's enough, and I believe it is, then you don't have to worry about that.
And it's like, why wouldn't Ohio State target?
Well, exactly. I was like, is water wet? Because okay, like I saw that, I'm like, okay, yeah. Casita, you know this. Ohio State and Michigan went after him hard 2 years ago.
Yeah, this isn't new.
This isn't new. And he hasn't. Again, there's no reason to pay.
Ohio State was damn close to hiring McDermott. However many, I think the Holtman time.
That was the Holtman time. Yep. So
there's something there that I don't know what the connection is.
Now, I'll say this: more resources, the better. State of Iowa, all that stuff, like that's not going away. But I wouldn't panic over that ESPN Borzello alert from yesterday.
All right, this is a good show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to Aiden Wyatt for producing. Thanks to our audience for being flexible with us. Bloom's got this big boy job now.
I was over in. You ever been in Hiawatha, Iowa? I was in Hiawatha, Iowa.
I've heard of Hiawatha because of the legendary running back.
Yeah, not. So I was over there seeing some folks, but yeah, all good. We'll see everybody at Hilton on Saturday.
Hilton Coliseum on Saturday. Williams and Blum. We are presented, as always, by Mechdyne in the Northwest Bank Studios. We'll be back on Sunday. Later.